Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk where we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, run the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? It's Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talks, and finally, Indiana Fever gets another win. Pretty good game. Pretty good game. Second quarter was a little sketch, but they kept it together. They really put the pressure on in the third. They won that third quarter 27-15, and then they won the fourth quarter 18-14. But again, they get a little sketch. Kelsey Mitchell, she had to work for this one. She had 21 points, but, man, she had to work for it. 8 for 24 from the floor. It was not a good night for Kelsey Mitchell, but she persevered. She made big plays when she had to make big plays. So, yeah, it was 21 points, 4 assists, and a rebound. She only had 1 turnover. Sydney Colson, 4 points and 5 turnovers. She had 5 turnovers in the first half. So Aaliyah Boston had a good game, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Natasha Howard was the player of the game, 18 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, an assist. She was all over the place. Natasha Howard balled out tonight. They got her the ball early and often, and she was converting. Man, I'll say it again, and I said it from the first time I saw her play. Natasha Howard is not playing like she's 11-year vet. Not even close. What's up, RC? Natasha Howard is not playing her age. She is balling. She is being involved. She is moving. She is getting it done. She has found her stride. And the Indiana Fever is better when they get her the ball in the middle. Aaliyah Boston, decent game with the double-double. However, in my opinion, AB has to be better in the paint. To me, she's just got to be like more not confident. I know she's confident, and I know this is reaching because it's her. And this is not, I'm trying to say this not like it's a dig at Aaliyah Boston, but it's more of a frustration with me because there's nothing you can really do about it, because to me, Aaliyah Boston has a personality issue. When Aaliyah Boston gets on and the energy is going in the right direction, she's unstoppable. But when she got to persevere and really fight through some troubled times, sometimes it looked like because her personality is so mild-mannered and nice, there's a point where you got to flick a switch and you got to let that dog loose. But unfortunately, she really ain't got that gear. We've seen her get touchy one time, and that was when her and Fee kind of barked at each other. But that's the only time I see it. And we all know Fee don't want no smoke either. They get yapping at each other, but ain't nothing really gonna come of it. But when you challenging who was the girl that threw her down the other week from Phoenix or from Connecticut? Was that Jackie? I want to say Jackie Charles, Tina Charles. I think it was Tina Charles. But and then when she going against Asia Wilson, to me it just seems like sometimes she'll make a different decision with Asia Gardner, not because she worried about Asia blocking her shot, but just the intimidation of Asia being there. Sometimes it just seems to me, because I believe she's got the best of Asia before, and if you've done it before, you can do it again. And like I said in the halftime show, Asia is still arguably the best player in the league. It's between her and Fee. Y'all can toss that coin up, and it'll land however you want it. And whoever you go with, I'm not gonna rebut. There's really no fight in that. It's either or. It's either Asia or Fee. But when Asia be going through her little semantics and trying to indicate that everybody's flopping, and that's the thing they do now is everybody when they think somebody's flopping, they gotta like miss me with that. All of that shit that Asia Wilson was talking about, everybody else's special whistle and all. Please stop playing with me. You get all them ticky tack fouls. Oh my God, it's like opening a box of cereal with a prize in it. You get all of them ticky tack fouls. So stop bitching about all the other stuff. You get more calls your way than anybody else. Stop playing. So, like, I don't want to hear that noise no more. And that's not taking anything away from her game. Her game is tight, period. But miss me with all of the bitching about the refs and everybody else getting calls. You get all the damn calls. Stop playing. All the ticky tack calls at that. So I don't know if you in the chat, let me know what you thought of the refs. Let me know. Let me know what you thought of the refs. I didn't think they were particularly good tonight. However, they were consistently bad on both sides. Let me say it like that. I didn't think it was a great referee game, but it was bad on both sides. So at least it was consistent. Chicago cheat, I'm with you. The officials are god awful, hot garbage. But at least it was hot garbage on both sides. I saw plays. I saw a couple of travels that should have been called on Indiana that weren't. I saw a couple of. I saw one travel. I say it was on Jackie Young, and they didn't call it. Late in the game, Eric McDonald got hit in the head right in front of the ref, and the ref didn't call nothing. Ref didn't call a thing. So maybe she just let it go because it was I believe that was getting close to the 2-minute mark, so maybe they was letting the clock burn. I don't know. But Stephanie White was hopping up and down a couple times. Becky Hammond was hopping up and down in the ref's ear a couple times. So, and based on what I saw, it was a couple plays. It was like, ugh, come on now. But again, if it's as long as it's consistent, and at least tonight was consistent. Some of the calls I didn't necessarily agree with, but at least it was consistent. At least it was consistent. Now there was one little streak where Indiana, it seemed like they got like 5 fouls in 50 seconds. That's what it seemed like. I know it wasn't that, but it was like 4 plays in a row, like back to back to back to back. It was like ticky tack fouls, and Asia was getting that foul. I was like, damn. So, Square, you must not know me, bro. You must not know me. Kelsey is a homegirl. Kelsey went to my high school, and Kelsey have somebody that I have great affinity for. Now, let me say it like this. I don't know Kelsey Mitchell personally, but I do know her father. I was friends with her father. So he was my frat brother. We went to college together. We played football in college together and in high school together. So for Kelsey, specifically, it's personal with me. So I didn't even get involved with that conversation, bro. I ain't even get involved with that conversation because it's personal, and I'm always gonna have a biased point of view. So I left it alone. My motto is I keep it basketball, keep it on the court. That's all you can do. So, and the one thing I've noticed, man, when people go for that stuff and they start talking about that stuff, man, it's like, hey, um, when you ever hear somebody talk about they said, or everybody who's like who is they coming from Kelsey Mitchell? Who are the fans coming from Kelsey Mitchell? All of the stuff that I saw, all it was everybody piggybacking and regurgitating the same shit. A matter of fact, the first time I heard about it, I heard what's the dude name from Ireland? I watched some of his content a lot, and he was talking about, and he said Kelsey Mitchell's mom. And I was like, first of all, I know Kelsey Mitchell's mom, and that ain't her name. So I know that ain't her. I was about to say her name out loud. I'm not gonna do that. So like as soon as I heard that, I was like, see, they got something and they running with it. And then when I saw all the information, I'm like, so the fuck what? So like who ain't gonna um go out for they sibling, they family and stuff like that? Happens all the time. Do I wish people would tone that down? Do family members, I wish they would tone that down? Absolutely. Because there is nothing good that can come from that, because you already know you got a contingency of people that's going to come at you with impunity. And most of those people don't care what they say, don't care how it affect Kelsey or whatever the case may be. So when family members, when moms and brothers and sisters and cousins and boyfriends and exes and all of that shit get in the mix and everybody got something to say, it's like, you better pump the brakes. You better pump the brakes, because you already know that everybody coming for you, right or wrong. And we're not in the era no more where you can just disagree with somebody. I try to keep that line up because I'm an OG. I'm from 70. I just turned 55 years old. I'm from a different era. I'm built different. I always make the joke. I'm about to make that a t-shirt. I was brought up on hose water and freeze tag. So going at people and your friends in high school, playing the dozens with each other, talking about each other, and still having to walk past that person every day. Folks ain't got to do that no more. They don't. The best lesson I ever had in my life, the best lesson, my junior year in high school, I was not a starter. I was a late bloomer. I didn't start to my senior year, but my junior year in high school, we were in a pivotal game. I believe we were playing Fairfield, and I got a pitch and I probably could have scored, but it bounced right off my chest and I fumbled the ball, and it was all on me. And that I didn't know how to handle that. So I'm in the locker room, and the pitch was bad. It hit me in the chest and all of that kind of stuff. The quarterback at the time wanted to kill me because we may have just messed up our chances to go to the playoffs. But after that game, that Monday, I had to go into school, and everybody knew I dropped the ball. So I was basically responsible for losing the game. But I had to walk through them halls of high school, everybody mean mugging me, everybody giving me the look, but I still had to go to class. I still had to go to practice on Monday. I still had to watch film of the game. You had to go through all of that. You couldn't avoid it. So people from my era, we were built different. When we screwed up, when we effed up, you still had to walk that walk, and you still had to take the mean mugs. You still had to deal with the comments. And you know what? By that Wednesday, everything had mellowed out and everything was cool. And you go to practice, and that's when you learn how good your coach is, because the coach can still admonish you and still make you feel part of the team. And everybody else follows suit. So there's lessons in loss. So we didn't go at each other like that. And even if we did, we knew how to handle it. These days, man, y'all jokers on in the back of them keyboards go ham with impunity. If y'all don't know what impunity means, it means you do it without consequence. Nothing's coming back to you. So you keep at it because there's no threat. You know what I'm saying? So we wasn't raised like that. So all of the shit I see on social media is like, I know how to avoid it. I know how to avoid it. So most of the stuff and most of the rhetoric that y'all have seen about that specifically, nah. Nah. Yeah, that's who it is. McTalks Hoops. Yeah. I started watching this content because I played in the World League. So I was over in Scotland and close to Ireland and all of that kind of stuff. So that kind of drew me to him. But let me be honest with you. His content ain't no different than everybody else. Everybody else gonna come up with something, and if I don't like it, I ain't gotta engage. I ain't gotta read it. I ain't gotta. I'll tell everybody a million times how much I dislike Jason Whitlock. I don't like the dude. I don't like his content. I don't like some of the shit that he says. So you know what I do? I don't watch him. And I can do that with anybody. I'll probably come across Mick Talks Hoop again, but I can turn them off again. I'm good at that. The greatest invention ever is the on-off switch, but nobody want to use it. Nobody want to use it. So, you know, Square, I don't think he a fraud. All he was doing was talking about what everybody else was talking about. So, but it's just like anything else. But honestly, that's my point. It ain't a discussion no more. If you don't agree, it's like they a fraud, they full of shit, they blah blah blah. And sometimes it's true. But I know this. He didn't pull them tweets out of thin air. So where there's smoke, there's fire. It had to be something to it. Now, where I draw the line is you don't know what's on the back end of that. You have no idea. We just saw in the NFL where some executive got the phone numbers from his iPad and was prank calling dudes on draft day. Prank called Shador Sanders on draft day. And I'm saying all of that to say anybody can get access to somebody's site, pull up an old Twitter. Listen, man, I'm a Photoshop expert. I've been using Photoshop for over 20 years. I had this friend of mine that I used to work with. She didn't like her daughter's boyfriend. She brought me the prom picture and asked me, could I make him disappear? And guess what I did? Made him disappear. So I'm saying I can get on Twitter, I can screenshot somebody's tweet or somebody's post, anything. Man, I can load that shit up in Photoshop, do something in After Effects and Premiere, and I can repost that, and you never know. So I'm saying all that to say, is it possible that somebody else could have did something, said something? Absolutely. Is it possible that it was Chelsea? Kelsey's twin sister or one of her brothers? It is possible. But when I read what was said, did I think it was that bad? Absolutely not. At the end of the day, that's somebody's opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. So just because you don't like somebody's opinion, or just because somebody was critical of what Caitlin Clark, and it wasn't even critical of Caitlin Clark. All he was saying was Kelsey Mitchell is responsible and a big part of this offense. And I tend to agree. You can go back and look at my tapes, and I've said that. If it wasn't for Kelsey Mitchell, a lot of times last year, Indiana would never would have made the playoffs. Kelsey Mitchell saved their bacon for at least 4 or 5 games last year when Caitlin Clark wasn't hitting, and then she had to get into her passing modes. And I say this all the time. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal passer. But you don't get credit for an assist until the person you passed it to makes the bucket. That's the only way you can get credit with that assist. So even when she does get her passes, whoever she's passing it to got to convert. So it still takes help. It still goes back and forth. It still takes a team to get it done. Tonight, they got it done. And even when they were losing, going through, watching the game, especially when you watch the game and you get context, how everything went down. Like I said earlier, Aaliyah Boston had a good game. But sometimes when she gets down low in that paint, some of the things she does, I don't understand. Because if I had her size and her strength and all of that type of stuff, my mindset would be different. Unfortunately, hers is not like that. So is it unfair for me to expect her to just beast when she down low? If Aaliyah Boston had Asia Wilson's personality, Aaliyah Boston would be a totally different player. But she doesn't. But Aaliyah Boston is still doing her thing in her own way. But sometimes it looks like other players can take her there and she won't cross that line. And she's going to have to learn how to cross that line, in my opinion. So, What's up, Los? Oh, you talking about mixed moves? Yeah, dude, it's just like anything else. I don't dislike the dude. He just approaching the subject that I'm not going down that road for reasons that I just said. It's personal to me, and I won't be able to speak on something like that unbiased. So I'm gonna leave it alone. That's too to me, that's too close to home. So um, but like I said, it's just somebody spouting their opinion. You ain't gotta agree with it. You don't have to agree with it. But when you don't agree with somebody's opinion, everybody nowadays, it's like all the way one side or the other. And it's like we used to be able to argue over this shit and talk about it. We can't even do that no more. Man, I've been trying to kill this damn fly in my office all day. I just saw it. Dang it. So yeah, man. It's yeah, RC is I'm used to the it's funny you say the accent. I'm used to this stuff because I so much time I spent over in Scotland. Now he's from Ireland, but when you hear that accent, you know they kind of from the same place. So I've been used to that. So it's all good. I try to be. I try to be, man. I try to keep it real. Y'all know if you've been rocking with me long enough, you know how much I appreciate and I love Caitlin Clark. However, I will rip her a new one when she looked like she bullshitting on defense. Or if her body language is sucking. I will jump down her throat. Because at the end of the day, I'm a coach. I've coached kids before. I've had to deal with parents that thought they know everything and they didn't. So I understand, you know, what's coming, and I understand the dynamics in the locker room and all of that type of stuff. Speaking of dynamics in the locker room, yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit more to say about the whole Dewana Bonner situation because I heard her comments after the game the other day after they lost, and she mentioned that about yelling or gelling with the team. It's gonna take some time, so just give us some patience. And I was like, ain't this some shit? You didn't want to give Indiana some time. It didn't fit what you wanted, so you bolted, you quit, and you ran back home. You lucky they took you. So you know it is what it is. I can't get mad at you for doing it. You know you where you wanted to be. So now I'm looking at. I want somebody to just destroy Phoenix, but they got a good team. Um, Random question. Uh, how do you feel about Juju Watkins' long-term outlook in college, then in the pros? Juju Watkins is already ready. Juju Watkins could have played in the W last year. Let's keep it above. Juju Watkins is ready now. However, um, she gonna do what she does in college. So I didn't think you just got to let people get there and then see what she's gonna do. I have no doubt that when Juju Watkins gets to the W, she's gonna be a big draw. Um, and she's gonna if she goes to a team that lets her play, that's the one thing that I like with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Paige Beckers. That's the one thing I like um, going forward. It looks like all of these rookies coming out, these coaches got to play them. They can't keep the old guard mentality because the crowds aren't coming for the old guard. They not. You look at what Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen is doing. You look last year. You look at Rickea Jackson and Cam Brink before Cam got hurt. You look at what Caitlin Clark was doing. You look at what Paige is doing. Hell, even this year, look at Michaela Timpson. Look at all the people. This the second like Kate Martin and what's the other girl out there at Golden State? Chen from UConn. Nobody expected them to do anything, but they doing it. One way, shape, or form, they doing it, and they got to start um, playing these rookies more because that's what everybody's coming to see. This is the new wave. This is the new wave. and you either gonna get with it or you gonna get rolled out the way, and it's gonna cost you some money. So um, you're gonna either do it the easy way or the hard way. Because next year, you think a team ain't gonna grab Olivia Miles, and then 2 years later, Hannah Hidalgo's coming out, and then next year, who else? Sarah Strong will be coming out in 2 more years. Sarah Strong is the best player in the country. She took UConn to the national title as a freshman. Don't get it twisted. Paige Beckers was balling, AZ Fudd was balling, but Sarah Strong, as a true freshman, was getting the job done. She should have been most valuable player of the tournament. I'm sorry. AZ Fudd was phenomenal, but Sarah Strong was a little bit better. But she's coming out in 2 years. What's the girl? Lauren Betts from UCLA, the 6'5" girl's coming out next year. So it's a lot of good things to look out for going forward for the WNBA, man. So let them young girls. I'm still mad that Cheryl Reeves cut Alyssa Peely. I'm still mad at that. Nah, can't do that, man. If Caitlin Clark can play, let her rest. Caitlin Clark is not going to play until mid to late August. There is no reason for her to play. Think about it. If Indiana does what they need to do without her, get to the playoffs, then that means there's no need to rush. That's the good thing about the way Ari McDonald is playing. They handling it without her on the court. So take your time. Don't be like what's her name in New York? Jonquel Jones. Jonquel Jones came back too early, got hurt again. Then she had to sit back out again. If she hadn't tried to come back that first time, she probably would have been back legit probably 2 weeks ago. But that's one of those things. You got to try it as good till it isn't. And you got to try to see what you can or cannot do. And she tried to come back a little too early. I don't think that's what happened with Caitlin, but I don't think she was 100%. And plus, I think it's a different injury, if I'm not mistaken. The first time it was her quad. So if your quad is hurt, what do you think is going to compensate? You're growing in your back. You're growing your hamstrings, and you'd lose your lower. Use your words. You use your lower back for everything. So when you overcompensate for something, if your quad is hurt, you already overcompensate with your growing, your adducts, and your hamstrings. So that could have been a result of her overcompensating, or it could have been nothing. It could have been as simple as she zigged when she should have zagged. And when she was on the court and she stopped or did whatever she did at that speed, at that angle, at that time on the court, something gave up. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Look at Justin Fields today at practice with the Jets. First day at practice. His non-dominant foot gets stepped on, dislocates his toe. It happens. Shit happens. Do you think the Fever with their core three can become a dominant team? The possibility is there. Here's what I've seen, or here's what I don't see from Indiana right now. Consistency. That core three, they have to consistently be better in the second half. They've lost games in the second half. And you guys know, I don't get into the X's and O's. Every time they lose a game, everybody want to fire Stephanie White. And I'm like, for what? They ran the same plays that they ran in New York when Caitlin Clark hit him for 32. Same plays. Then was the same plays when they lost to New York by 1. Same plays. Same plays when they lost to the LA Sparks twice. How does that happen? LA Sparks ain't that damn good, but they got their number. So they got to learn how to be consistent down the stretch. They play good first halves, and then somewhere in the third or fourth quarter, they give up the ghost. And tonight they didn't, but they did had a run where they were getting good stops. Indiana is a good defensive team. That's the one thing Stephanie White has brought down. They play good damn defense. The problem is when they get a stop and they go down the court on the offensive side of the ball, they get the ball up too much. They either don't make an open shot or they turn the ball over. Or again tonight, freaking Sydney Colson, shot clock runs out. Pay attention. I know if I'm watching the television and I can hear them every time it gets to 8 seconds, you hear somebody on the Indiana bench or somebody on the Las Vegas bench, they start yelling 8, 7, 6. If we hear it on the mic, on the broadcast microphone, I know they hear it on the floor. But you got so much stuff going on, you're oblivious to it. And you can't have that. Because what you can have is that's when you get them 5 and 6 point swings, right? They done scored a 2 or a 3. Then you come back down the court, you give up the ball, then they score again. So now that you talking, so let's say they score 2, come back down, you turn the ball over. You go back down, they hit a 3. That's a 5-point swing. Then you get the ball again, shot clock violation. Then you go back down again, they hit another 3, 8-point swing, just like that. And Indiana has had that happen to them a few times. And that's the thing where they got to be better when they make those defensive stops, coming back on the other end on the offensive side of the ball and converting those buckets. That's what they need to do to be consistent. Because every game, with the exception of maybe 2, they're 13 and 12. Every game that they've lost, with the exception of maybe 2, they've been in the game. They still had an opportunity to win the game with like 1 or 2 minutes left. And then for whatever reason, they didn't get it done. Whatever those little things are, that's what they got to do better at. And for me, it's not the plays, it's not what they draw up, it's not Stephanie White, it's the women on the court. When they get a chance, as much as I love Kelsey Mitchell, y'all just heard me go on and on about Kelsey Mitchell. Why I love her, why she from the crib, all of that kind of stuff. Kelsey Mitchell is the fastest person in the league off the dribble. But when she moving so fast, she can't get that touch. She comes harsh off the glass, and those are the things you got to convert. Those are the things you got to convert. So I need Indiana to be a little bit more consistent. Check this out. Who had Sophie Cunningham being the best 3-point shooter on the team? Who had that on their bingo card? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes things happen. Let me see. What is Sophie's 3-point? Sophie Cunningham is shooting 40% at 3 right now. 40%. That's crazy. What is what's Kelsey Mitchell shooting? Kelsey Mitchell is shooting 36.4% from 3. Lexi Hull is shooting 43.9%. So Lexi Hull is still the best 3-point shooter on the team. So who had that on their bingo card? Kayla's 3-point percentage got to be super low, 27.9%, because she never got out of that slump. Even when she was scoring, she was still like, 1 for 5, 2 for 7 from three. Even when she was scoring driving to the basket. It wasn't from deep. So that's the way things go, man. You got to be able to put all of that stuff together and dominate teams in the second half, the third and the fourth quarter. That's where you got to pay dividends. And right now, Indiana Fever, they can't do that consistently. We saw the game tonight. They had a great second half. Can they do it the next game? And on top of that, the other team get paid too. It ain't like they out there playing scrubs. So you got to pick your poison. I like Michaela Timpson getting in the game, but good grief, that girl could probably jump in the Game Bridge Arena and touch the lights on the top of the ceiling. That's how high that girl can jump. But when she is in the air, she has no clue where the damn rim is. I don't understand that at all. That girl can jump out the freaking gym. But when she gets the ball in the paint inside about 5 or 6 feet, she goes up, and it literally is like her internal radar is off. She don't know where the rim is. Because some of her shots, I'm like, how do you jump that high and not know where the rim is? I don't understand that. I don't get that. So, Carlos, at this point, the New York Liberty are the damn Avengers. That's what they are. Right there at Stark Tower. Ain't Stark Tower in New York? New York is the damn Avengers, man. They playing too damn well. And they got the best player in Europe. How the hell do you do that? How the hell do you get Meesman to add to that roster? Like I said, they the Avengers, bro. Everybody on that squad got skills. And they just got John Quayle back. And they just got you see what Sabs is doing. Sabs is on some other shit right now. Can't nobody stop her. And she looking to get back to the finals so she can put up a better performance than she did last year. She looking for that opportunity. And you know what? They just might get it. They just might get it. You got Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, your reigning finals MVP, Maureen Johannes, one of the best French players. Now you got Meesman, the best European player on the planet right now. They are the Avengers, bro. They the freaking Avengers, the Justice League, all of them rolled up into one. I asked Gavin, are there clues WBRS may be involved in max fitching? Yes, there are plenty of red flags, though nothing has produced an open and shut. I don't know. Hey, what you gonna do with that? They're not gonna take the refs out. They're not gonna stop the season for it. They're gonna keep it moving. So, but suspicious line movement, several WNBA games over the last 2 seasons, most memorably the 23 Indiana Dallas OT game. Yeah, see, I don't bet, Shanks. I don't bet. I don't doubt that for a minute. I don't doubt it for a minute. It would not surprise me if you get betters, the people that want to shave points and stuff like that, trying stuff out in the WNBA to see if they can do it in the NBA. That would not surprise me. Especially, and let me say this is just me. I'm talking out my butt. This is hypothetical. There's no truth to this. But with what they paying the players now, do you think it would be out of the realm for somebody to approach one of these ladies? We're like, hey, I can give you an extra 20, 30 grand if you do this. That's possible. Do I think it's happening? No. Is it possible? Absolutely. Whenever you have a situation where you have players or people that are underpaid and have the opportunity to make a quick bunch of cash, the possibility will exist. Again, do I think they're doing it? Absolutely not. Is it possible? Sure is. And you know what? That's an easy fix. No pun intended. But that's an easy fix. Get some refs that know how to do their job. I know reffing is hard. Um, if you've talked to somebody that is a ref right now and you ask them how hard is it, they'll be like, oh, whew, let me tell you about what happens. Because it happens all the time. It's always something. And now you're in a situation where a lot of these overzealous parents, they want to fight you and jump in your face and, wag their finger, this, that, and the other. And it's like, can't do that. That's why I stopped coaching. Parents was out of control. People jumping down my throat for something I ain't even do. I was like, nope. I'm out. No, sir. It ain't worth getting into some fights or, one of the parents talking shit about me on the sideline. They don't know who I know at the game. They don't know if my family is at the game. And they hear this stuff. You don't know how somebody's gonna react. That's why I had a player, his dad took this kid off the team because this kid had came over from Philadelphia and this kid was just a beast. He was taller, he was faster. He played quarterback at the other place. And the dad was the nicest dude. He said, I understand. He used to play quarterback, but I understand that we ain't there no more. So I'm going to let y'all do. His dad was very standoffish. This is y'all team. Y'all going to do what I know what we used to do over here, but this is on y'all. So I put the kid at running back because he immediately, when he got there, he was the fastest kid on the team. And the first time I gave him the ball, he fumbled it, picked it up, and went 60 yards. But because I put some special plays for him, I wasn't going to let this kid that come over from somewhere else, I wasn't going to just insert him in and let him take over. And then all of these kids that's been coming to practice and been here since day one, they just get kicked to the curb. I'm not doing that. But what I will do is I'll put some special plays in there, call your number, and you go. And that's what I did. Put a special play in for him. Second play of the game, we're going to run this play right off the bat. And the kid I took out, his dad got so mad that the dad was talking shit about me and the kid I put in, not realizing that the new kid, his dad was upstairs on the we got like a little deck, like a little pavilion where everybody would tape the games and the speaker system and all that kind of stuff. And they built a deck that would come right up to the fence, and everybody, other coaches would get up there. They would film the games from up there. And the dad, once again, he was being super parent, bringing oranges and snacks and shit. He was being super parent. He was filming the game for us. And the kid I took out to get his kid to play, his parents were literally right below him talking shit. And he got it all on camera because they loud talking. So the audio picked up what these people were saying. So rather than start trouble, and they must have been saying something foul, he just took his kid off the team. He was like, I'm not going to deal with this. He's like, because I'm from Philly and I know how we would handle it, but I know I can't do that here. And I said, well, damn. Crazy. Shanks, we see your post. Oh, Kennedy Burke, man. Kennedy Burke still number one for 3 points in the league? The Avengers. The Avengers, bro. But yo, Shanks, that ain't the first time I've heard that. Not the first time I've heard this. Especially with the refs being as bad as they've been consistently last year and this year. Wouldn't surprise me. Adam, I like Colson. I just if Colson can get 6 to 8 points, I'm good. She gonna fire up a couple shots. She gonna take a couple threes when it's open to her, but she ain't looking to take over the game. And who else you gonna put in there until Caitlin get back? So in my mind, yes, I'm bitching that Colson turned the ball over and stuff like that, but for the most part, she been playing fine. I ain't got no problem with her. So, but we good win tonight by Indiana. It was a good win. It's a good win. That they needed that. They needed that. So they got it done. Played well in the second half. Ari McDonald continues to show her worth. Although she does tend to get lost in the sauce because of her size. They kind of beat her up and throw her everywhere on the court, but she still keep coming with it. She still keep coming with it. So I like Ari McDonald. You know, my nickname, Ari Stay Ready McDonald. That's who that is. Um, hope Liberty do not decide to play with fire because I do not like the idea of Neesmith starting over Leone Fibic, who is the best defensive wing in the league. I don't disagree with that, Albert. However, when you're talking about the best player in Eurobasket, the best player, and she's played here before. Neesmith is 30. She ain't new to this. And she played with Sandy Brondello. So there's some familiarity with it. That's why she is where she is. So that ain't somebody gonna have to lose some minutes. You don't pay a player like that to come over here and you sit her on the bench because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Oh, hell no. You don't do that. Somebody gonna lose some minutes because of her. That's the way the game goes. That's pro sports for you. Nothing you can do about that. With Caitlin, this team can be anybody. I wouldn't even say that yet, Adam, because Caitlin Clark has been wildly inconsistent this year as well. So what you want to say is when everybody's playing up to their potential, they can be anybody. That I agree with. The problem is they haven't been. So I can't hold them to that moniker because they peak up there, but they haven't had any type of normal consistency where they just playing hands down above everybody else. They've had games like that, but they don't stay at that altitude. New York stays at that altitude. Right now, Atlanta's playing pretty damn well. They have some, the highs and the lows shrink. The highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too low. So you get a pretty even, you're not going up and down. That's consistency. And New York's got it. Atlanta's got it. Phoenix, they getting there. But they got as much as anybody. So with Satu Sabali, taking her rest after the All-Star break, she wanted to rest her body, decided to opt out of the game. Anybody that decided to opt out of that All-Star game is now considered a genius. That All-Star game is getting so much bad feedback, it's not even funny. Not even funny. But they get what they get. They get what they get. They put the 4-point shot in there. I thought that was a bad idea. Well, let me say it like this. I didn't think it was a bad idea. The execution of it was not fun for me. Not fun to watch at all. Did not like it. Move it around, make it interactive, figure out a different way to implement it. I don't mind a 4-point shot, but what they did with everybody was just chucking up shots in that All-Star game, that was not fun to watch. It was boring to me. So, yeah, maybe they'll do something different. Maybe they'll do something different next year. So, but all right, man. I just wanted to jump on here and give my post game comments, man. We got a good game today. Listen, if you haven't joined the new channel, please do. Take a minute to go to Pro Fan Hoops and subscribe. I am slowly moving, and I'm not slow anymore, but I've been getting more people over there because football season is starting. So now I put out a boatload of Eagles content today. And what I'm trying to do is I got to split my channel because I got a lot of WNBA fans that don't necessarily follow football. So I'm trying to keep everything on track. All right. So if you haven't yet, please do me a favor and swing on over to Pro Fan Hoops and hit subscribe. You can still subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. You can do both. Come on, y'all can multitask, man. Y'all know how this works. You know how the sausage is made, man. Stop playing with me. Come on now. Stop playing with me. But we got a good game, man. So look for me tomorrow. I'm gonna have some more Eagles content and the other WNBA games for the rest of the week. You know, I'm still with it. And not for nothing, I got some new golf content coming. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Pro Fan Golf is in the works. Stay tuned. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Shanks Pony, do not be a stranger, my bro. Adam, Albert, I appreciate you. Carlos, as usual, man. You was first out the limo. You know I appreciate all of y'all, man. So I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Probably holler at y'all this weekend because I know there's another game. When's the next time the Fever play? Let me see. Schedule. Oh, they got this. I'll look it up later. Probably got a weekend game, but we're gonna keep it moving, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe, spread the word, and we're gonna keep this thing growing. Just passed 7,500 subscribers for Pro Fan Talk, and now I'm trying to get the Pro Fan Hoops up there. I got about 150 subscribers right now, and you know we trying to do the damn thing, trying to get it above 500, trying to get it above 1,000, and do what we can do, man. So let's keep it growing, let's keep it going, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.